blanket. So one of your blankets needs to be rolled up like a sausage. This isn't very neat roll. If you haven't got two, get a cushion and a blanket, and then you'll have a blanket that's just a free blanket, and then you use your cushion to support you. So this is basically just to use like a bolster, or if you have anything like a bolster cushion, that would be useful. So two blankets or a bolster and a blanket, or a cushion and a blanket. A pillow would be good as well. So if you're, at home, something that basically is going to support you, isn't too soft, so it's quite firm, quite thick. You could even, it's the handy being at home, isn't it? Because you could just grab a cushion. If a blanket isn't enough, you can just grab some things. So we're going to start. We're going to do the first part of the class is it's kind of a yoga. Nod to yoga. So we do some little yoga moves, nothing too strenuous, nothing that and nobody will be incapable of. And it's all going to be nice and slow paced, Hilary. And it is, you'll be capable of doing everything. So we're moving, we're not just doing nothing. The second part of the class, we're doing more like a restorative, just a few restorative sections where you actually, that's where you need your rolled up blanket or your bolster or your cushion. To give you some support, because we stay in the positions just for a minute or so. And then the final part of the class is going to be a nice relaxation at the end. So a little sort of mini meditation. So that's where you definitely need your blanket for over the top of you, because even though you might feel warm now, when you sit or lie still, you'll get cold. So for the meditation part at the end, feel free to sit in your chair. You don't have to lie down. So if you've got a chair handy and you prefer to sit on that, that's fine. Or just something that's going to be nice and comfortable. So Joey, you've just joined us. Have you got a rolled up blanket, or a blanket that you can roll up? Yeah, and a cushion, or even just two blankets. Okay, so we are going to start in standing. So I'm just going to hop back over to my mat. It's a shame that you guys aren't in. I can't see you all, because yesterday I did little massages for my face-to-face guys as well. So Joey's like, what? Massages? So you'll have to just, I don't know, pretend that or get your you've got a massage gun out and do that. Okay, so just pop your blanket to the side for now. You don't need it yet. You don't need your cushion just yet. And we will come up into standing just to start off with. We're not going to be long in standing, but we're just going to do a standing warm up. And then we're going to do a few yoga stretch poses. And then we'll come down onto the mat. So majority of it will be down on your mat, on the floor. So we won't be coming up and down. Once we're down, we stay down. Okay, so take your feet about shoulder width apart, nice and wide. Just soften those knees, drop your tailbone, relax your shoulders. So just starting off with a nice stretch up. So spread your fingers, take a big breath in, reach up towards the ceiling, and then breathing out as you come down. So just think about getting as much air in through your nose, opening up through the arms, the shoulders. Even stretch your toes, so lift your toes, spread your fingers. So you can stay just doing this, or you can start to just bend your knees and come forward a little bit. So main thing is your breathing. So focus on your inhale up, exhale as you come down. And when you breathe out through your mouth. It can be a nice big sigh of a breath, like a big, or it could just be more like you're breathing out through a little straw. Let's do two more. And last one, we're going to stay up, just going into your vertical bow and arrows. So just pressing one hand up and then pulling down with the other arm. So you could turn your head, look towards your elbow as you press away. And as we go through this little warm up, just noticing how you feel, noticing any stiffness, noticing any tension in your body, and then just trying to think about breathing into and out of that tension. Coming over to your left now, just pausing here, relaxing your shoulder, and then just soften your knees. And we'll just do 3 nice big circles all the way around. So we'll do that one more time. And then change to the other side, same thing again here, just 3 nice big circles. 2 and 3. And then from here, just interlinking your hands, stretching up towards the ceiling. So big stretch up through your abdominals. And again, just a gentle stretch to one side. If it's too much for you, do this with your arms by your side. And then over to the other. And then come back up. Keeping your hands interlinked, bring your arms out in front of you. Imagine you're hugging a big beach ball. Chin to chest, just rounding through your upper back now. And then as you breathe in, taking your hands into the small of your back and pressing your hips forward, lifting your chest up towards the ceiling. If you don't like putting your head back, just keep your eye gaze looking forward. So we breathe out as you go into flexion, soften the knees round the back, and breathe in as you stand up tall into extension. And again, exhale, forwards, inhale, lengthen one more time. Exhale, forwards, inhale, lengthen. All right, from here, just relaxing through the shoulders. Come back to your stance, your horse stance, if you're, think of that Tai Chi stance you had. Close down your eyes, bring your hands onto your belly now. So as you breathe in, just to feel your belly rising and your fingers will move out to the side. And then as you breathe out, just feel your belly deflate and your fingers come back together. So again, we're trying to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. So that focus is on that expansion of the abdominals, so of the expansion, relaxing of the abdominals. We're going to do another breathing exercise at the end when we do our little mini meditation as well. And then see if you can just direct that breath now into your rib cage. So you can move your hands up to your lower ribs, round to the sides. So that as you breathe in now, you feel your ribs pressing out into your hands. So your hands and fingers are moving sideways. Fingers are spreading. And as you breathe out, you just feel your rib cage almost like come together and your fingers close and knit together. So when we do this, we're just mobilizing your diaphragm. You're maximizing the air into your lungs. So see if you can now just breathe into one side of your rib cage. Choose a side, it doesn't matter. So you're just really focusing your inflation on that side. And then see if you can do the same on the other side. It's quite a challenge, but you can do it. So do maybe 2 or 3 on each side. And then go back to the center. So breathing in evenly into both sides. And this time, release your hands, or next time you breathe in, release your arms, big stretch up towards your ceiling, and then breathing out, and then just shake your arms. So taking your feet a little bit wider. So you want to be sideways on your mat, and then you're going to take your left foot and just turn it to the side. So you're copying my position. So all you do is simply turn your left foot so it's out to the side. You bring your arms out now. And we're going to go into our first little yoga position here, which is our warrior. So you're just bending that front knee and you're looking out over your front fingers. So just gazing out over the top of the fingers. From here, we're going to breathe in and we're going to straighten the front leg and then reach your arms up towards your ceiling. You can look up towards your hands or just keep your eyes looking forwards. And then you exhale and you go back into your warrior. So that's all we're going to do. Breathing in. So it's a slow, controlled movement, and you're coordinating your movement and your breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale into your warrior. Just check that knee that you're bending and straightening. Make sure you've got your knees not rolling inwards and it's pointing out directly over your toes. This is the last one. We're just going to stay here and just hold it for 2 breaths. 1 and 2. From here now, we're going to take your front hand, so it should be your left hand, bring it, or left arm, bring it onto your thigh and take your top hand and reach it up and over. So it's a gentle but quite a good stretch, because you might feel I feel a stretch here through my inner thigh all the way up the side of my body as well. From here, we're going to come up, straighten both legs, and now take your back hands, which should be your right hand, towards the floor and your left hand up towards the ceiling. So we're just going to move between those 2 positions, coming forward, letting your arm rest on your thigh, and then sweeping up in the opposite direction. So your breath here, you could breathe out as you come forwards and over, and breathing in as you straighten your legs and reach up and back. Let's do that one more time. Up and over, and then up. Let's just pause here. This is called a peaceful warrior. Stay in this peaceful warrior position. And then bring your arms down. Turn your feet back to face the front. Bring your hands onto your thighs. And we're just going to gently slide side to side. So just transferring your weight from your right foot into your left foot. If you've got thick socks on, you might slip a little bit on your mat. My feet are slipping here. Haven't got my woolly socks on. So just be careful. So just setting side to side. So you can either stay with this, or if you wanted to, you could reach a little bit further down your leg, or if you're very flexible and nice and warm, you can take your hands all the way to the floor. Doesn't matter, whatever feels nice for you. Next time you come to your left, you're just going to pause here. So you've got your right leg is straight and left leg is bent. And then you're breathing in, we're going to add a twist. So you're taking your left hand up towards the ceiling. And then we come back to the center, over to the right, and take your right arm up towards the ceiling. So that's your movement. So again, you can just do these in your own time, and then try and just think about maybe coordinating them with your breath. So it doesn't matter where you breathe in, where you breathe out. We're just wanting to breathe evenly in, breathe evenly out, and coordinate your movement and your breath. Let's just do one more. And then we come back to the center. Just bring yourself all the way up to standing, roll those shoulders. And then this time you're going to turn your right foot out to the side. So we do the same warrior movement with the other side. So reaching over, looking over the top of your arms are out nice and straight at shoulder height. We're going to bend that front knee, which is should be your right knee this time. Just check your knees going forward over your toes and not rolling inwards. And then from here, we're breathing in and either looking up at your fingers or looking forwards. So you exhale into your warrior. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, warrior. Inhale, lengthen. We'll do two more. And then on this last one, we're just going to hold it for 2 breaths. So just gazing over the top of your fingers. So focusing your mind, focusing your eye. So you're not really looking at anything, you're just gazing. And then from here, dropping that right arm onto your thigh, taking your top arm up and over by your ear. And then we sweep and go in the opposite direction. So straightening that right leg now as your hand goes up towards the ceiling. So let's inhale again as we come over, and exhale as we stretch up. And again, inhale here, exhale up one more time. And then we're just going to pause in this peaceful warrior here. Relax your shoulders, gazing up at your hand or just eyes forward, breathing in, breathing out. And then once again, just turning back to the front. This time, bring your hands onto your hips. You're going to keep your back straight this time instead of rounding. So soften your knees a little bit, send your bottom behind you and just hinge forward at your hips. So like you're bowing forwards. And then just press into your heels as you come back up. So you're inhaling on the way down, send your bottom behind you, keeping your back nice and straight. So think about really sliding those shoulder blades down your spine, down your back. Inhale down, exhale as you come back up one more time. And coming all the way back up. Well done. Okay, so come to the back of your mats. We're going to come down onto your hands and knees now. So you can either do a roll down, or you can just bring yourself down onto the floor. So we're down now, we're not coming back up again. So we stay down on the floor. So if you need to adjust your screen slightly, you can do that. Now I'll do the same, I think. All right. So on your hands and knees, we're then just going to step 1 foot forward. So let's go right foot forward, or if you're, right foot forward. So we're all doing the same side. And then from here, we're just coming up into kneeling. If you need to put a pad underneath your knee, you can. Push your hips forward slightly, breathing in, sweep your hands up towards the ceiling. and then breathing out as you come down. So we're inhaling, pressing your hands forward, sweeping your arms up. Try and get those arms right by your ears, but keeping those ribs down. So you don't want to push your ribs backwards. You want to keep your ribs stacked over your pelvis. We'll do that one more time. Just pausing here. We're coming over to the right side. So little side bend to the right. You can drop your right hand if you want to, and then come back up. And then we're just going to rotate. So rotation to the right and then back to the center. Bring your hands now either side of your front foot. And then you're going to take your right hand and reach it up. So another little twist, gentle twist here. And then come back down. We're doing that 2 more times. So inhaling, twisting up. And exhale, come down. You can do this, so Hilary, do this in standing or on your chair if that's easier. Just add a little rotation. Okay, from here, we're going to lift that back leg, come into a low lunge. Relax your shoulders. Just pause here. Think about trying to push your hips towards the floor and then drop that back knee. Come onto hands and knees. Hilary, stay up in standing. You're going to do a cat-cow before we do the other side. So Hilary, you can do a standing cat stretch. So tail goes up, shoulders back, and then exhale, chin to chest, round your spine. So just trying to get a little bit of movement there through your back. Inhale, thinking about lengthening your tailbone away. Exhale, thinking about tailbone going down towards the back of your knees. Do that one more time. And out. Good. Okay, step your other foot forward. So left foot's coming forward this time. Tuck your pelvis under, breathing in, press your hands up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as you come forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. One more time. Just pausing here now, coming over to the left side. And then add a rotation, so just holding onto your wrist or your hand, or a little rotation to the left. Hands either side of that front foot, and then we take that left hand and rotate it up towards the ceiling. We're going to do that 3 times. So use your breath, inhale, up, exhale, down. One more here. And then if you can, both hands either side of that front foot, tuck your back toes under and lift your back leg, staying nice and low, thinking about dropping your pelvis down towards your mat. When you're ready, pop that back knee down, come back onto your hands and knees, and then bring yourself down onto your tummy. So have a little lay down on your tummy and just let your bottom just wiggle there, side to side. So just give it a little wiggle. So you're going to have your hands just either side of your rib cage. So your elbows are poking up towards the ceiling. Just going to press into those hands. And I want you to think about, rather than just lifting straight up, imagine that you're rolling your chest forward on your mat and almost wanting to roll your chest up the wall in front of you and then lower back down. It is not a big movement at all. Well, it's not for me. Maybe if some of you are more bendy in your back than I am. So again, we want to think about just rolling your chest forward. You coming up and then lowering back down. If this is really uncomfortable, just move your hands a little bit further forwards. Breathing in last time. And then breathing out as you come down. Just turning your head to the side. We're going to bend up your left leg, grab hold of your left foot in your hand. If this is difficult to do on your tummy, remember you can turn around onto your side and it's much easier. So if you're struggling to grab hold of your foot, just turn it onto your side. So thinking about drawing your heel to your bottom, and then with your right hand, you can press that into the floor and just come up into a little bit of extension. So lifting your chest away from your mat and then just letting yourself come back down. So we do that 2 more times, breathing in and out and again. And then just release down. Give that leg a little wiggle, give your bottom a little wiggle, and then bend up your other foot. Remember, turn onto your side if you need to. So same thing on this side, just drawing heel to bottom, pressing into that front hand, lifting your chest and forehead away from your mat as you breathe in, and then breathing out as you release down. We'll do that 2 more times. And again. And relax. Just release both legs. Let your heels turn out to the side. Turn your head to one side as well. And just wiggle your hips side to side. So you feel like a ripple effect going up through your bottom, up through your spine, all the way, even up to your shoulders and your head. And then just come back there. Okay, bring your hands underneath your shoulders now. Tuck your toes. Press yourself up onto your hands and knees. Take a moment here. Knees and feet are nice and wide. So just let your back settle. And then we're just going to breathe in as you send your bottom back slightly towards your heels. Walk your hands forward. And then as you breathe out, shift your body weight forward and lower your pelvis towards the floor and your chest towards the wall in front of you. So we're breathing in as you go back. Toes can stay tucked under here. And we're breathing out as you come forward and drop your pelvis. Do that once more each way. You're going to finish back. So we do one more forward, one more back. So finish back. You can untuck your toes if you wanted to, or you can keep your toes there. So you can either drop into a wide leg child's pose, or you can stay in more of a puppy dog pose, whichever works for your body. If you're in child's pose, lift your bottom a little bit from your heels, and then we're going to come into a thread the needle. So taking your right hand underneath your left, and with your left arm, you can reach it out on the mat, keep it where it is, or you could lift it up towards the ceiling. So you come into more of a rotation through the upper back. Take a breath in, take a breath out, and then bring yourself round to the other side. So this time left hand goes underneath the right, dropping that right shoulder down, and then right hand option here, if you wanted to, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Take a breath in, take a breath out, and bring yourself back up. So we're going to turn around onto your side. So let's have legs going to, if you go the same way as me, that's helpful. So legs to the right, and then you've got your left hand down on your mat. We're going to take your legs apart if this is comfortable for you. If it's not, just have your knees together. You can also do this sitting down or sitting in a chair. So we're just going to start by taking your pelvis, so moving your pelvis, moving your chest, but the shoulders staying nice and still. So the only reason the shoulder comes across is because you're rotating through your back. So we can then take that right arm and reach and touch the mat, and then we can open out behind you. So you're just following your right arm now as it moves, and you're breathing in to go one way and breathing out to go the other. It doesn't matter. Let's just do one more each way. We're going to finish with your right hand on your mat. Walk your hands a little bit further forward, and then think about just drawing your chest and forehead towards the floor. If you can get your chest and forehead on the floor, let your elbows relax as well. If you can't, then just pop yourself back up on your elbows. Take some breaths into your back, and then when you're ready, bring yourself back up and bring your legs to face the front before we do the other side. So if you have your cushion handy, you might want to just sit on your cushion or your black rolled up blanket at this point. So just to give you a little lift through your bottom, it helps you to sit up nice and tall. You can sit with your legs straight, or if it's more comfortable for you just to bend your knees, you can even sit in a chair. Bring your hands together in front of you, palms are in front of your breastbone. Keeping your hands in line with your breastbone, you're just going to rotate to one side, coming back to the center, and then rotate to the other side. That's all you're going to do. So it's not a huge rotation, but thinking about rotating your ribs over the top of your pelvis. So you're getting that lovely movement through your upper back, through your neck. And then as you rotate side to side, can you notice what's happening with your legs? So as you rotate to your left, your right leg sort of pushes forward. So you could exaggerate that movement. You probably don't pick it up on the screen, but you can really push the leg away from you. So think about lengthening the leg. We'll do that once more. And then coming back to the center. Sit up nice and tall. Just bend those knees in and bring your legs in towards you. So again, just sit up tall. Maybe you could either give yourself a hug, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So we'll do the little mermaid. So taking your legs into that Z position, zigzag position, or sitting with your legs crossed or staying on your chair, it doesn't really matter. And then just starting to move your pelvis. So left hand this time is on your pelvis, and just rotating that pelvis forwards, starting to get a little bit more movement through the upper back as well. So even thinking about taking your chest around, and then taking that left hand now, reaching down towards or even onto the mat, and then taking the arm behind you. So you're just following your hand, following your arm. Your arm is elbows soft, so we're not straining through the chest. We'll do that 2 more times. And last one. Keep both hands on your mat. You might want to walk them forward a little bit, drop down onto your elbows, and then see if you can get your forehead down onto your mat. If you can't, don't stress, just keep your elbows down and your forehead lifted. Take a breath in and out here. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back up to sitting. So back into your comfortable seated position. We're just going to think about bringing, if you can, try and get the soles of your feet together and let your knees open out to the side. If that's not going to work for you, maybe you could just do one leg at a time. So we're just thinking about looking, or not looking, but just using our elbows maybe to let those inner thighs open and press those knees out to the side. Keeping your back nice and tall, we're just thinking about, I'm going to hold on to my toes and just use my hands to guide me forward. So taking my chest towards my feet, and then just release and sit back up. And again, so hinging forward. So trying to keep your back nice and straight rather than just slumping and rounding through your spine. Sit up tall. One more time. Coming forwards and then sitting up nice and tall. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Take your arms up towards the ceiling. Big breath in, and then slide your left leg back in towards you. So cross your left leg now over your right and just hug your left leg in towards you. You're then going to take your right hand and wrap it, or right arm, wrap it around your left leg. You can stay here, or you can take a little twist. So take your free hand now, it should be your left hand, take it behind you, place it on your floor and use it to help you sit up tall. And then you can rotate so that your chest now is looking towards your left. Just breathing in and breathing out. And then just gently release back to the center. Okay, switch legs. So hug it in first, then take it across. Wrap your arm around. And then just rotate your chest so you're looking towards the right this time. Just taking some nice breaths. So when you do this, thinking about lengthening up through your spine, so creating space in your body. One more breath in, one more breath out, and then back to the center. All right, so we're going to come back onto your backs now. So roll all the way back onto your back. If you've got a little cushion, you could put underneath your head if you wanted to. And just find a comfortable position. If you're just checking, make sure you're warm enough. If you're not, you could just put your blanket over your top half or even over your bottom half if you wanted to, or pop another layer jumper on or another pair of socks. So we're going to start with some gentle pelvic tilt. So if you bring your hands onto your pelvis and imagine that you've got that bowl of water in your pelvis, and then we're just going to tilt your water so that your back flattens onto your mat. So your water is now tipped towards the back of your pelvis. And then we go the other way. So now the water is tipped towards the front of your pelvis, and you've got a little gap underneath your lower back, between your back and your mat. So just working between those two positions. Again, just trying to synchronize your movement and your breath. So maybe you breathe out as you flatten your back. And maybe you breathe in as you lengthen. Just noticing when you do this, the ripple effect again up your spine. So as you tilt your pelvis, you might feel your head moving a little bit because your head is connected to your pelvis by your spine. So whatever happens typically at one end or the other affects. So if you've got tension in your pelvis, you often have tension in your jaw and vice versa. So we could take that forwards and back now and go into more of a side to side. So think about swishing your water from the left side to the right side of your pelvis. So your feet stay on the floor, but you're just rotating and lifting one side of your pelvis up and then bringing it down. So this kind of movement is super gentle. It's really nice to do if your back feels stiff. It's really good also just to get the blood flowing around all your pelvic organs. So it's good for digestion as well. So we could then take that side to side and we can go into a nice circular movement. So now imagine that you're swishing the water around in a nice circle. Let's do 4 in each direction. Think about how you can make it nice and smooth. So there'll be parts, I've got a little part there, it doesn't feel very smooth at all. Bit of a jerky circle. So make this your last one and then coming back to the center. So we're going to take that into a spine curl now. So swishing your water towards the back of your pelvis, flattening your lower back. Start to just peel one vertebra up off your mat at a time, pressing your knees forwards and your hips up. And if you've got space, floating your arms all the way overhead. And then as you breathe out now, we're just going to roll back down one vertebra at a time until your back of your pelvis touches the ground. And then I just want you to really try and relax. So almost like let your legs just flop out. We repeat that again. So exhale, rolling up one vertebra at a time, sending those knees forward, arms are coming up overhead. Breathe in at the top and then exhale as you roll back down. And then when you touch down with the back of your pelvis, just really trying to relax. So do 2 more of those in your own time. Take your time. So this is such a lovely movement for helping with articulation. So movement of your spine. Also a nice way to open you up through the front of your body and work those muscles in the back of your body. So everybody's probably going at different speeds. So just if you finished, you could either do another one or you could just pause. Doesn't matter. But this is our last one. Come on down. And then this time when your sacrum touches, just hug your right knee into your chest. And we're almost going to give yourself a little bit of a low back massage with using that right leg. So just do some little circles there. So you feel that you're just rolling around, giving your lower back a little bit of a massage as you hug your knee in towards you and just roll around in a little circle. So you're not really moving the hip. Well, you are moving the hip, you're not moving the knee. Change direction if you haven't already. And then you're going to slide your hand to the back of your thigh and we're just going to go into those little hamstring releases. So pushing your foot up towards the ceiling. Not aiming to straighten the leg here, but just aiming to lengthen through the back of the leg. So do that one more time. And now if you want to, you could straighten your leg. And we'll do 3 nice little ankle circles in each direction. Let's switch legs. So hug your left knee in now. We'll start off with just those little bit of rolls, massages, hip, love, whatever you want to call it. So making sure you go both ways. And then when you've done even amount both ways, sliding your hands to the back of your thigh and then just pushing that left foot up now towards the ceiling. Just a couple more times. And then you can keep that leg nice and straight and start to just circle your ankle. Maybe 3 or 4 times each way. Lovely. And then bring both feet onto the floor, stretch your legs out in front of you and stretch your arms overhead. So big pencil stretch there. So again, stretching out the muscles in the front and the back of the body. So let's think about how we can stretch the muscles in the side of the body a bit more. We can do that by lengthening the right side and shortening the left. So stretch longer through your right fingers and your right foot. I like to press through the heel rather than pointing my toe. And then, because I just get cramp, I think, when I point the toe. And then switch sides, so you're lengthening through your left side, shortening the right. And you can just keep alternating between those two at your own pace. Let's do one more each side. And now you're going to come into a star shape. So take your arms and your legs a little bit wider. And you're going to stretch on a diagonal, so long through your right fingers and your left foot. And then switch, so it's left fingers and right foot. Just alternating. Good, once more each side. And then bring those legs and arms back together. Bend your knees. Hug one knee into your chest. And then if you want to, hug both knees into your chest. And just have a little rock here side to side. Again, just thinking about massaging through your lower back. So if your hands are interlocked here, just separate them. So your hands are just resting on your knees. And then we're going to, or shins actually, take them into a nice double circle. So you hug them into your chest, separate your knees out to the side, push them away from you, and then back together. So double whammy with this exercise. You get a lovely, nice little massage for your lower back. You also get some mobilization and lubrication for your hip joints. Changing direction now. And one more time. And then just hugging those knees back in towards you. Pop your feet down on the floor. Just bring your arms out to the side. Maybe actually bring them into goalpost arms and let your knees just open out to the side. So just opening out through your inner thighs and just have a little swish there from one side to the other. So moving to the left and then moving to the right. Do that once more each way. And then just, again, you could hug your knees in, or you could just have a stretch. Okay, we're going to come back round onto our hands and knees. So take your time, bring yourself up. And this is where you're going to need your rolled up blanket or your bolster if you've got one. Or if you haven't got either of those, you can use a cushion. So you want to have your blanket at the front end of your mat, roll it up as tightly as you can, or your cushion or your bolster, and then you're just going to place your hands on top of it, but like tent your fingers like you've got, I'll show you this way around, have your fingers like that, and then you're just going to sit back towards your heels. You're not going to sit back all the way, so that your forearms rest on top of your blanket and your fingers are just resting on the floor. What it's going to do is just really help to open you up underneath your armpits, and then stretch, sit back as if you're going to sit in child's pose. If that's really uncomfortable for you, just move your knees further away from your body so you're more into a puppy dog stretch. If this is still really uncomfortable for you, just do it on the wall. So without your blanket, walk your hands up, stand facing the wall and walk your hands up the wall so you get a lovely stretch underneath your armpits. If you're doing it on the floor here, let your head just drop in between your arms. It probably won't touch the floor. And just take some nice deep breaths into the back of your body. So just notice where you feel tight. So you're also getting a stretch here through your lats, through your lower back, maybe upper back, middle back. So take just 2 more breaths here. And then from here, you're going to bring yourself forward. So now you're lying on your tummy, but the blanket or your cushion is underneath your breastbone. So it's propping you up so that you could even take your hands away and your head wouldn't be on the floor. So it's just, if you see it here, I'm just lying on, so my pelvis is on the floor and the blanket is underneath my rib cage, the front of my rib cage, lifting me up. And then just bring your arms into your Sphinx position. So you're balancing on your forearms and hands. Again, if this isn't comfortable for you, maybe just come onto your back now and just do some bridges and pelvic tilts instead. So in this position, the blanket, the bolster is supporting your back. So just try and relax your shoulders, give your head a little shake side to side. And breathe in and out. One more time. And then when you're ready, just bring yourself up, back onto your hands and knees. Take your time. And now we're going to have your blanket at one end of your mat. And this is where some of you also might need a pillow behind you, because when you lie down, we're going to have that blanket underneath your rib cage again, so that when you lie back, it lifts your rib cage up and it opens through the front of your body. So not everybody likes going back like this with their head. If it's not for you, please just lie flat instead, or you could put a little pillow or cushion underneath your head. So find a position that is vaguely comfortable for you to just be in for a minute or two. You want to feel that you're really opening up through your rib cage. So we're just going to do a little self massage here. So if you find your the front of your rib cage and you've kind of got that little V shape there, so your diaphragm sits under your ribs in that soft bit in the middle. So we're just going to use your fingers to just gently massage your diaphragm. So if you take your fingers and just follow the edge of your rib cage down, so just doing some little presses underneath the ribs all the way around the edge of your rib cage to the bottom on one side, and then you could do the same on the other side. You could do it both together, but I find it's more comfortable if you just do one side at a time. So some of you, it might be your diaphragm might be really tight. So if you've had a chest infection recently, or you've been coughing a lot, or for any, it doesn't just have to be that, but anything where you've had a lot of stress in your life, your diaphragm might be quite tight. So this might be quite painful. So just do 2 or 3 times on each side. So diaphragm is a muscle. So like any muscle, it can become tight, and it can also become, unusually, it would become relaxed. All right, and then from here, if you're still happy on your blanket, let your knees drop out to the side and bring your arms either into T or into a goalpost position. If you want to change positions, if you want to take your blanket away or your bolster away, if it's uncomfortable, then just do so now. So take 2 more breaths in this position. And then when you are ready, bring your knees together. Carefully try and just extricate yourself. So if you lift your bottom and slide your blanket down now, so it's underneath your bottom, underneath your pelvis, rather than your bottom. So it's lifting your bottom off the floor. So we're like in a supportive bridge position. So if you have 2 blankets, you could try 2 blankets under there. So it's lifting your hips and really supporting your back and your pelvis. And then float your arms up towards the ceiling. And then float your arms overhead if you've got space. Bend your elbows if you need to, so that your back of your arms and your elbows are touching the floor. And then if you can just focus on really letting the back of your body feel super heavy on your mat. And then focus on letting the back of your pelvis really feel super heavy and just dropping down onto your blanket. Take 2 nice breaths. And then when you're ready, float your arms back to your sides. Lift your bottom, and now you're going to slide your blanket all the way down so it's underneath your knees. So this is the point in the class that you want to get another blanket and put it on top of you, because we're going to do our little meditation and relaxation. So if you've got, hopefully you have got another blanket. If you haven't, use your cushion underneath you and use your blanket on top. So you want to get your blanket, bring it on top of you, tuck your toes in. If you've got anything like a eye pillow, you could put that on now. So just make sure you've got some layers on and you're going to be nice and warm. So even if, you know, chuck a couple of blankets, some socks, a duvet, anything you want, and then just find a nice comfortable position. So typically it's more comfortable if we've got something underneath our knees. So keep your rolled up blanket there, pop a cushion under there. If it's not comfortable lying on your back, then as I said, you could do this little meditation sitting in a chair as well. So let's have a look. Are we all sitting or lying comfortably? Hopefully we are by now. Joey, you're still sorting yourself out. That's okay. So when you're ready, just start to take your awareness to the thing you're lying on or the thing you're sitting on. So notice your points of contact with either the chair or with the ground. So just notice the back of your legs if you're lying down, your heels, the back of your thighs, your bottom, the back, your middle back, your rib cage, your shoulder blades, back of your head, and your arms in contact with the floor. If you're sitting, it will obviously be a little bit different. So just notice the things you're sitting on. So just doing something very basic like that is a grounding exercise. So it's really useful if you find that you're struggling to focus on something or your mind is darting everywhere. Just by bringing yourself back into your body, if you like, and noticing its points of contact with whatever you're sitting on or standing on or lying on, can be really beneficial and grounding and help you to focus. So next we're going to think about your breath. So you're just going to start breathing. Well, you obviously are breathing already, but you're just going to start noticing your breath. Where are you breathing from and to? So we've focused a lot on breath in this class. So hopefully you feel that your breath is not just in your chest and that you can breathe down into your rib cage, that you can breathe down into your abdomen. So notice how deeply you can breathe. Could you breathe down all the way to your pelvic floor? Could you breathe down into your legs? Could you breathe into your feet? And can you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth? If you can't do that, then just in and out through your nose. And if your nose is blocked, obviously you have to go through your mouth. So next we're going to count our breaths. And we're not going to count all the way to 100 or anything like that. We're just going to go to 10. So let's do it together. We're going to start with an inhale. Inhale, we'll be on number 1. So when you're ready, just take a nice in breath and count to 1. And then breathe out and count to 2. Breathe in to 3. Breathe out to 4. Breathe in 5. Breathe out 6. Breathe in 7. Breathe out 8. Breathe in 9. And breathe out 10. So repeat that again in your own time, inhaling for 1, exhale for 2, etc., etc. So just do that in your own time with you and count to yourself. And you're going to repeat that several times. So what we're trying to work on when we do this is really focus our attention. So our mind is programmed to wander and to try and do lots of different things and think about lots of different things all at once. So it can be quite a challenge to only focus on 1 or 2 things like we're doing now. So we're training our brain to try and be focused and pay attention to the here and the now, rather than be distracted by all the other things that are constant stream of consciousness. If your mind wanders, which it will, just bring it back to the last number that you remembered. And if you can't remember, just start at 1 again and off you go. It might feel funny to be lying here doing this at 10 o'clock in the morning, but it doesn't really matter when you meditate or when you relax. Just trying to find 10 minutes in the day where you can spend some mindful moments can be really beneficial for you if you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed. Or even if you're not, there's lots of research to show that it can massively improve your grey matter. So if you find that you're struggling with your memory or your cognitive function, or you just want to, hone it and improve it, doing some meditation every day can really boost your grey matter, the amount of brain cells that you have in your brain. So I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm just going to let you do that 4 more times. So 4 more counts to 10 in your own time. When you've finished your 4, just let your breath go back to its normal pattern. Don't worry about counting, let your counting go. Breathe normally. And now, so hopefully you find that your breath is a bit slower and a bit deeper, and it's not just about your breathing when we do this kind of movement, or not movement, is it? Relaxation. It's also about reducing your blood pressure, slowing down your heart rate. So it's got lots of physiological benefits as well as mental benefits. So now I just want to focus on a little body scan. So we've thought about the points of contact with the floor. Let's think about the front of the body. And we're just going to go fairly steadily through each part of your front of your body. And every time I name that part, just take a nice breath in and breath out. So we're going to start at your head. So just thinking about your face. So when I say face, just breathe in and then breathe out. We're thinking about your jaw. Taking your awareness to your throat. Taking your awareness to the fronts of your shoulders, your collarbone. Taking your awareness to your chest. To the front of your ribs. to your abdominals, to the front of your pelvis, to the front of your hips, to your thighs, the upper part of the front of your legs, to your kneecaps, to your shins, to the fronts of your ankles, to the tops of your feet, to your front of your toes. Now leaving your feet and coming back up to your arms. So to the upper arms, the fronts of the upper arms, to the crook of your elbow, to your lower arms, your forearms, your outside forearms, the back of your hands, to your back of your fingers and your thumbs. And now finally, just start to take awareness of the room around you. So we focused a lot about your breathing and inside your body. So just seeing now if that focus has helped you to be a little bit more in touch with yourself and your body. So just focus on, let's go with hearing. Think about or just notice what can you hear in your room. You might be able to hear your breathing. Maybe you can hear a clock ticking. Maybe you've got the radio on. Maybe you've got a dog or a cat in your room, you can hear them. What about further away? Can you hear anything outside of your room? Can you hear anything outside of your house even? Maybe you've got some traffic noise. Maybe there's people walking past. And then take your awareness to one of your other senses. Can you smell anything? What does your room, what does your house smell of? It's quite difficult. It's better to do this outside. But maybe you've got a Christmas candle, or maybe you've got a nice scent. Maybe you've even got a Christmas tree. I don't know if any of us have got ours up yet. Maybe if you're doing this on the recording and you have, what can you smell? What can you taste now? So what did you last have to eat or drink, or can you taste your toothpaste? Or if you can't taste anything, just take your tongue and run it around your teeth and run around your soft palate. And then finally, just if your eyes were closed, just open your eyes and just look up at your ceiling and let your eye gaze move to the left and to the right. Notice the room around you. You could even just turn your head and try and notice something that you haven't noticed before. Notice something positive. Don't look at your cobwebs or your dust. Look at a nice picture that you haven't really noticed for a while, or a nice object that you haven't noticed for a while. Notice something about that object or that picture. And then when you're ready, we can have a nice big stretch. So take your arms overhead, stretch your legs away, wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe now you want to just bend your knees and just have a little rock side to side. You could hug one knee in, you could hug both knees in. When you're ready, just slowly make your way onto your side. Stay on your side for a moment or two before you bring yourself around back to a seated position, or up to a seated position. So we're going to finish in sitting today. So it could be on your chair, it could be on your floor, it could be on your bed, wherever you're doing this. So just find a comfortable position to sit on your bottom. So in your sitting position now, just take a stretch upwards towards your ceiling. So take a big breath in, reach your hand up, and then just dropping your left hand, just take a gentle stretch to the left, and then over to the right. And then just take a gentle twist to the left, and then to the right. And then just rub your hands together as you come back to the center. Rub your hands together. So create some heat in your hands. So when you feel that your hands are nice and warm, just take your hands and lay them over your forehead and your eyes, and just notice the heat from your hands just penetrating into your forehead and your eyes. And then release your hands and just use your fingers now to tap on your head. So on your forehead, they're like little pitter patters to tap over the scalp here. So just waking you up, using this to stimulate a little bit. You can tap a little bit stronger if you feel that you need to wake up a bit more. Around your temples, around your jaw here, cheekbones, around the back of your skull as well. And then just taking your fists now and tapping your fists on your shoulders and your arms, your chest, your legs. Just getting the blood circulating back to your body. Have a nice final stretch. I know some of you got to go back to work, so it wouldn't be good to be too relaxed, would it? And then just breathing out, fold forward. Have a little shake, shake, shake. Move your fingers, your toes. Just move into a different position. And hopefully you feel nice and relaxed, but also maybe energized a little bit as well, because we did a bit of movement. Wrap yourself up in your, I'm still cold, I'm cold now. I haven't been moving for a little while. So I'd just like to say thank you to all of you that come every week without fail, and also those of you who do this on recording every week as well. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me, and I hope you get one. I know you get lots out of it as well, but just showing up every week is a big commitment to yourself as well. So I hope you get a chance to do some exercise and some time for yourselves over the Christmas holidays, because it can be tricky, especially if you've got little ones around. Hilary, thank you. Well done. Joey, thank you. Julia, thank you as well. And Mum and Dad, of course. And then obviously everybody doing this at home. So last class, we will be back in the new year. I think it's the 10th of January is the first one, because the week before, I think the kids are still off, aren't they? When does Florrie go back, Joey? 6th, yeah. So Monday the 6th, yeah. Okay. What about Julia? What about your kids?
The 8th.
The 8th, yeah. Louis the 8th as well. It's really late, isn't it?
3.5 weeks I've got off.
I know. Maybe we'll all be ready for some more Pilates by then. But yeah, try and do some of the recordings if you want to, if you can. 12 Days of Christmas, if you're feeling energetic. Oh, Joey, look ready for bed. That's okay. Listen, I wish you all a very happy Christmas, and I'll see you in the new year. All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.